in, and it's a hands-on head moment for Maynard Brewer. Relief all around Tannadice because, wow, United had to fight for that one. Across, oh yes, well spittle. Their first home league win of the season, and a well-deserved one at that. Was himself! It's a stunner! They have come and put Dundee to the swords. Can Aberdeen close? Can Rangers close? Clark does send it in!
You know, they've worked ever so hard, they've stuck to their gun.
Suddenly it'll be 2 wins from 3 games.
Good afternoon, welcome to RCFC TV for this afternoon's Scottish Premiership match between Ross County and Dundee United. County looking to make it back-to-back wins at home for just the second time since the start of last season, and I'm delighted to say we're joined by former Ross County striker over 2 spells, Brian Graham, who's with us this afternoon. Brian, are you ready to publicly judge the performances of some of your former teammates?
Yeah, obviously Blair Spittle was on at me, not to be too harsh on him, so I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
No, glad to have you here. Now, County have started to really turn their season around, or show signs of turning their season around after a thumping win at Dens and a really impressive, gritty win against Hibs the other night. Do you expect that to continue today against United, who have been impressive themselves?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to go back-to-back wins. I watched the match the other night and I thought first half was a bit cagey. Obviously Big John White's had the great opportunity in the first half, but it wasn't to be. But when they got the goal, I felt it really settled them down and they were unlucky not to get 2 or 3.
I think Malky Mackay publicly spoke about the need for patience. Let's not press the panic button because this is a whole new squad. They need to take time to get to know each other. You can now see that starting to gel, I suppose. Can you take us into that sort of situation when you can hear the noise from the outside complaining about the performances, when really it's quite hard to understand maybe what it's like for a bunch of strangers to come together and try and get results straight away?
Yeah, I think speaking off camera, I think it was 12 players or something like that out and 12 in, so it's a lot of new faces in the changing room, a lot of players need to bond with each other. So, but if I'm being honest, I've been watching recently and you can see the way the Malkies wanting to play. They're passing the ball really well and stuff like that, and it was obviously a big confidence booster getting the 3 points the other night.
United have been in good form, another former club of yours. Have you been a tad surprised with the way they've gone this season?
Yeah, obviously when Tam Court's got the manager's job, but to be honest with you, not a lot of people knew who he was, and I think he was working in the background there, and you've got to give him credit. He's done a fantastic job.
It was a very narrow game the last time that County and United played. That was at Tannadice only a couple of months ago at the start of October. Ilmari Niskanen scored a winner in the second half for Dundee United. He's a dangerous player. They do have danger throughout their attack, Dundee United, but they've got a lot of impressive players in midfield as well. Ian Harts, who we're going to talk about later. How important do you feel the midfield battle is today for County?
I think it'll be crucial, but I think if you go back even further, the defence, you've got Charlie McGrew and Ryan Edwards doing really, really well at the moment. They're not just keeping clean sheets, they're scoring goals at the other end as well. So I think set places will be vital today.
We'll have a look at the Premiership table now. County are now just 1 point behind Dundee at the foot of the table. It looked really bleak not so long ago, but they've managed to get those 2 wins against Dundee and against Hibs, which tightens things up down there. Dundee playing against Motherwell today, which is an opportunity for Motherwell to stretch their form in the top 6. So at the end of today, Ross County could actually leapfrog Dundee, Brian, and head into that playoff spot, which, again, we're still pretty early on in the season, but is a confidence booster.
Yeah, well, obviously they've been down there for basically the whole season, so it'd be a huge confidence booster before Christmas to go get off the foot of the table, and I think they'll be confident after that night. You've seen what Hibs done against Rangers in the Cup last week, so they've got to take huge belief from that game and take it into this game against Dundee United.
Oh, absolutely. It was a tremendous performance against Hibs the other night. County took their chance when it came along and they were resolute at the back. Second win of the season. Let's take a look back at how that transpired.
Not long now then, teams are out. They haven't won here this season. No better time than the present to get going. Perfect evening for football.
Tremendous evening for it.
What a challenge awaiting County here for the opportunity to pick up the win.
Great ball.
It's a good
Great
ball.
ball.
Yeah.
Broken the lines for Callaghan. He's trying to repeat the trick. Gives it to Charles Cook now. Hungbo. This is probably where Hibs don't want him. Charles Cook keeps it alive. And Matt Macy's long arms grateful for that one coming right at him. Here's Martin Boyle now.
Hibs menacing down the right already. Manages to cut one out, and Kevin Nisbet was burying those for fun last season. There's White! And emulating Nisbet at the other end sends it just wide. Matt Macy was stranded. Laning up the shot, beats one, beats two, slips in Cadden, ball across, and this time it's off the post from Paul Hanlon of all people, who'd stayed forward for Hibs. The closest we've come to a goal in Dingwall. Humboldt.
Get at him.
Just leave him.
Isolated with Doig now. Trying to bend one into the far corner, and Matt Macy, for just about the first time tonight, forced into action. Payton. Spittle. Immediately involved. Across! Oh, yes! Blair Spittle! Absolutely incredible! With his first few touches since coming off the bench, has put Ross County 1-0 up. Hamlin.
Well done.
Forced back by Hungbo, and John White might fancy that. It's fallen to Hungbo. A great chance here to score a second. Oh, he's put too much on it, Joseph Hungbo.
Wow.
The goal was gaping. Out comes the red card. As Doig it's off. That's fallen kindly for Callaghan. And now might now break for Spittle. He's got one to his name already. Looking for two. And the composure was as wild as his finish. Into the path of Iakoviti. He leaves it for Hungbo. McGregor backtracking. Hungbo going alone. Macy manages to ham the ball to safety and collect the rebounded header from McGregor. County have had more than enough chances to put this game beyond doubt. There's Clark putting his foot in, and he's through. Harry Clark for two. Incredible. County still can't seal the game. Suddenly it'll be 2 wins from 3 games. The ball's gone out. And the full-time whistle goes. County have their first home league win of the season. And it was Blair Spittle, the County substitute, who managed to find the back of the net. They had chances to make it towards the end, County.
Somebody's just been sent off for Andy. I don't know if it's Martin Boyle or Paul Hanlon. One of them was sent off for foul and abusive language towards the referee.
Ross County, the victors, their first home league win of the season, and a well-deserved one at that.
Yeah, mightily impressive win for Ross County against Hibs the other night. They haven't been going so well in the league, Hibs, but they were off the back of a huge win in the semi-final of the League Cup against Rangers, but they couldn't come to Dingwall and leave with the victory. Brian, what impressed you about the Staggies?
Well, if you look at it at the bottom of the league, but you've seen what it meant to them after the game, there's a real togetherness there, so from that aspect it was great to see, because you've seen the fight in them. They're well up for the challenge. They know they're bottom of the league, they know they need to fight and scratch and try and get themselves higher up the table, and by looking from afar, it looked as if they're going to do that.
I think that was maybe evident in the Hibs players. I don't think they maybe expected that resolution from County, because they have been conceding goals, let's face it. I mean, they're down at the bottom of the league for a reason, but Hibs couldn't find a way past them, and that resulted in the frustration boiling over with Doidge's little kick out. Martin Boyle at full time couldn't keep his lip zipped.
Yeah, I think, obviously we don't know what Martin Boyle said, but I think the referee could maybe potentially let that one go. I think as a fellow player, I think getting sent off after the game, it's a bit harsh, but the Doidge one, I was talking about you, I'm still not so sure it was a straight red card. As a centre forward, the big boys came in, and I think he's been harshly done by, but I think they're appealing it, so we'll see how that goes. But back to County, I think on the balance of the other night, it was just a great victory all round.
How important though, when those chances come along to get that second goal, is it that County actually put the ball in the back of the net? Malcolm Mackay said during his post-match interview on Wednesday that, you know, we need to take advantage of them, a bit of target practice needed.
Yeah, I think we can laugh about it now because they got the 3 points, but at the time, if you're Malcolm Mackay, you're pulling your hair out, if I'm being honest with you, and they should really have scored 2, 3, potentially 4.
You back yourself to finish those?
Yeah, I'd have thanked myself.
The back four for County though is starting to become a bit more of a positive. That's 2 clean sheets in the last 3 games. The other one was against Rangers at Ibrox, which, I mean, teams can go there and concede 3, 4, 5 goals. I think maybe one thing that sticks out is Harry Clark at right back. He's a centre half by trade. He's been put out there and he's rampaging up and down that line. Teams are struggling to contain him when he gets forward.
Yeah, he's really athletic. I think you've seen that in the Dens game, and I think he posted up. Was it Ibrox? He'd done the full length of the pitch running. He posted that up. I felt that was a bit strange to post that, but it just shows his raw power, and he's coming in and he looks very comfortable there for being a centre half.
And on the other side, Randall, who's not a left back by trade either. Both Counties full backs filling in really. He's a right-footed player playing at left back, which some people find quite grating and hard to watch, but he's doing just fine.
Yeah, but you can look at it this way. They've been asked to do a job and they're like, no problem, Gaffer. I want to play in this starting 11. If that's where you want to play me, then I want the jersey. So credit to them, and listen, they're doing well. They did really well down. They get a clean sheet against a high-flying Hibs coming off the back of the semi-final game.
Well, Malcolm Mackay was delighted with that showing against Hibs. We spoke to him just a little while ago ahead of this afternoon's game. Malky, has the mood been pretty good the past few days?
Yeah, it has, Andy. Obviously, it was a terrific result for us on Wednesday night, playing against a really good team. But I thought we deserved it on the night. We played well. It brings us off into this game a couple of days later. It's a quick turnaround again, obviously. And we had the kind of flurry of snow this morning, which has meant that we've had a lot of good people out on the pitch this morning shoveling it, but it's in good nick now.
Yeah, it does. It was a cracking surface as well the other night, considering that County hadn't played here for so long, but it just goes to show how quickly you can be faced with another challenge like that.
Yeah, and I mean, this morning at 7 o'clock, Davey, our groundsman, sent me the photograph, and it looked as if it was going to be off, but as I say, with some really good people from our club, I've been out there all morning. And it looks as if it's going to be a reasonably nice day. Yesterday was pretty horrendous. It was 70 odd mile an hour winds up here, and at one point during training our goals toppled over, so it was a bit inclement yesterday. So yeah, it can change quite quickly, but everyone's ready. We're prepared and we're ready to go this afternoon.
Well, what sort of challenge do you expect from United?
A tough one. You know, they've been in a good vein of form. They're in a good position in the league, and obviously it wasn't that long ago we played them. I thought we played well against them on the day, and I thought it was a very tight game. So I've got no doubts it's going to be a tough one for us today, but we've got to make sure we meet that challenge. We've gone and played against a really good team on Wednesday night and acquitted ourselves well. We've got to make sure we come out of the traps quite quickly today, I think.
Is there anything specifically you've had to work on in attack? Because United have got one of the strongest defences in the league at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. We've got to make sure that we try and be able to score, but I think we've been fairly free-flowing as far as that's concerned. And if I can remember, on the day we actually had 3 or 4 golden chances that we never took. We've just got to be clinical today, and we've got to make sure that at the other end we keep them out, because as I say, they play good football, and they're in a good vein of form. So we've got to make sure it's one that we meet the challenge today.
But the defensive showed up though, because that's 2 clean sheets in 3 games, and the other was at Ibrox, where those things can happen.
Yeah, I think overall we've been looking at individual errors rather than kind of wholesale defensive issues. But we've got a good group there that are together, and we've got to make sure the balance is there between attacking and defending, and make sure that we strike that balance and be clinical at one end, and we keep it out at the other end.
Oh, great. All the best.
Thanks, Andy.
Malcolm Mackay looking to kick on then for Ross County. 2 wins in the last 3 games and a tough one against Dundee United, who haven't been shipping many goals this season. Mackay makes 2 changes to his team. Joseph Hungbo, potentially or arguably the star player from the other night, is on the bench. Blair Spittle, the goal-scoring hero, is in from the start as well. Ross Callaghan, the other absentee from the win over Hibs, he picked up a knock in training and is replaced by David Cancola. Brian, who came off the bench against Hibs and impressed.
Yeah, he did really well, to be fair to him. Another one, Hungbo on the bench, you probably feel a bit hard done by, because you've seen his work rate and his effort the other night, and his sweet left foot, creating the chance in the first half for Jordan White. So, but if you look at the other way, Blair Spittle's come on, scored the winning goal, potentially should have scored again, and he's changed the game, he's won the match for them, so I think he rightly deserves to start. You've got experience of playing with Blair here and at Partick Thistle. What's he like around the changing room and on the park? He's a bit of a character, if I'm being honest. He's always up to something, playing silly jokes. But he's first and foremost, he's a great guy. But when we're talking at football sense, he's got a great football brain. As a striker, potentially the way I play, I'm not going to be running away from you. I'm more of a target man. And Blair sees it, he bounces it off you, he moves again, and I just love playing with him, because I knew if I made a run, defence splitting pass would come and he would put me in one-on-one.
He's had to force his way back into the team, because I think that was 4 games in a row he went without a start after beginning the season on quite good form. It's impressive, that sort of mental character, to fall out the team but still manage to force your way back into it.
Yeah, listen, he's, as I touched on it again, he's got great ability, and I thought he would get himself back in the team, but if you go to Malky Mackay, he's probably tried to stick with the same 11 for a few games. He was trying to get that first victory, and he did that the other night, but it came because Blair didn't down tools. He went, what, know what, I'm going to go and work hard in training and get myself back in, and he's did that.
Well, Joseph Humbo's the one that's had the magic in his boots recently. What do you think the thinking is today with him on the bench, maybe to bring him on if United are tiring?
Yeah, potentially. You don't know how Dundee United, they might come here all out attack, and County maybe just go and try and sit in and maybe wait for the second half again, like the Hibs game, and go and try and nick it in the second half. So it's a game we're really relishing.
He scored that screamer against Dundee at Dens Park. He should have probably scored one, that open goal. Well, can we call it an open goal that he had against Hibs? An open goal. He's tried to whip it right into the top bin there and just put it right into the middle of the net. I don't know if maybe he saw his name in lights.
I don't think he needs to hit it that hard. He just needs to clip it and it's into an empty net.
Well, how difficult is it? I suppose you're a striker, you might not have direct experience of this, but when you have someone like that in your team, you know that they can produce something from absolutely nothing. And I actually said to Malky Mackay after the game the other night, kind of reminded me of the way the opposition look when Martin Boyle gets on the ball. You can see them scared straight away, and the opposition seem to get that sense when Humbo picks up the ball as well. Yeah,
well, I look at it this way. I think to myself, I'd liked him to play when I played, him on the left and Josh Millen on the right, and putting balls in my head, and I'd have probably scored 30 goals with they two playing. So he's got great quality, and I think he's going to have a really big season with County.
I think as well, it's great to see someone come up here as a young boy on loan from down south, and it's sink or swim really when you're in a new environment, completely new place, teammates, stadium, everything, and it does take a wee while, I think, to settle, but now you're starting to see what this boy's all about.
Yeah, I think he's not the only one, so they're all trying to settle in, but I think if the boys that have already been here, they're probably that first day in training, the boxes, how's his touch, everybody looking at him, and as you say, it's sink or swim, but sometimes he's been into the deep end and he's coming to fruition. He's doing really well.
Well, Malky Mackay was big on praising the subs the other night. Blair Spittle we've already touched. He came on and scored the winning goal. Keith Watson came on at centre back and helped keep that clean sheet, and Cancola in midfield as well. Looks like he really earned the trust from his teammates.
Yeah, listen, touch on Keith Watson. He was obviously my teammate here, and he's a leader, if I'm being honest, and he is another one like Blair, out the team at the moment, but knowing what type of character he is, he'll be working really hard in the background and try to get in, because I think when he come on there, he's a club captain now. He got the armband straight away from his teammates, so you seen what they thought of him.
Yeah, well, we're nearing kick-off and we'll have more build-up to the game after this break. Welcome back. We've spoken about the Ross County lineup. Now time to discuss Dundee United. Their form was threatening to fall off a cliff not too long ago. They lost 2 games in a row, but they turned that around with the win against Aberdeen last week. And let's see if they've made any changes to their lineup today. Ian Harkes is the man in midfield that really makes them tick. He keeps his place. And Louis Perry and Florent Hochi come into the team. There is an injury for Jean Fuchs, so he's not in the lineup this afternoon. Brian, who do you think County need to be keeping an eye on?
I think you've got to go with Nicky Clark. I think he's a real goal threat, and I think it'll be a busy afternoon for the centre halves.
They've not been conceding many goals back there. It's Charlie Mulgrew and Ryan Edwards as normal. Kieran Freeman's returned from a long-term knee injury to stamp his authority at right back. Scott McMahon, after signing from Accies, much like County, they've had a load of new players, but they've had to gel pretty quickly, but they have done so.
Yeah, they've got a good spine in their team. Seagrass is a top-class goalkeeper. Obviously, get Charlie Mulgrew there, fully experienced, so the team well capable of going and getting a victory here. So we'll see, it'll be a good game to watch.
Ian Harkes has scored some important goals this season for Dundee United. The winner in the derby, an equaliser against Celtic, the winner against Aberdeen last week. He was Player of the Month actually as well for October in the Scottish Premiership. He's a kind of guy that just looks so graceful on the ball in central midfield. He's a tremendous technician.
Yeah, he's a very good footballer, as you said there, and he doesn't want to just play in front. He wants to make those diving runs in behind centre halves as well, and trying to stretch the game, and sometimes that creates space for the strikers. He's
out of contract in the summer actually, Ian Harkes. What sort of level do you think he could reach? Do you think he's maybe capable of going down south to the English Championship or to another team in Scotland?
Yeah, I was going to say the English Championship there. He could potentially go there and test himself. That's if he wants to. I think he's doing really well with Dundee United. I'm sure they would like to keep hold of him.
Well, he's written himself into history books at United with that winner against Dundee there. I'm not sure Adam Legston's will be too happy about his goalkeeping, but look at Harkes, he doesn't really care too much about that. And his goal against Celtic as well, tremendous header, which I'm sure we'll see in just a second. Look at the whip on that strike there from
it's a great
Harkes.
Strike, and it doesn't matter in that kind of derby. It's just as long as United win, they wins.
Yeah, well, this goal that he scored against Celtic, he's almost had to dive backwards to get his head on the ball, and he's rocketed it past Joe Hart.
It's a good ball, there's plenty of pace in it, so you just had to get a connection on the ball and just put it in the top corner there. It was a great finish.
One you'd be proud of?
Definitely. the Dundee United fans haven't let me live it down. I actually missed a sitter there at Parkhead for them. We're 1-0 up, and it was Charlie Mulgrew scored in the 94th minute, so I'm still a bit of a villain from that time.
Well, this is the one that he scored last week. Really quick thinking to get the outside of his right boot on that. Great scenes behind the goal there in a big game for United. A tense affair last week with all that happened with Funso Ojo and Callum Butcher as well, but Harkes settled it, so he's won United 7 points this season with his goals. He's really influential for them. At the back though, they've got a new captain. Ryan Edwards has been given the armband after Mark Reynolds kind of failed really to keep his place in the team this season.
Yeah, obviously you want your captain to be playing every week. You want that leader on the pitch, and unfortunately for Mark Reynolds, he's not doing that at the moment because Ryan Edwards and Charlie Mulgrew have got that partnership and they're doing really well. So I think the manager's rightly looked at it and he's given it to the big man. So good luck to him.
Is it quite rare to see a new partnership become so solid so quickly, like Mulgrew and Edwards have?
I think it's easy when you get somebody like Charlie Mulgrew beside you. He's a true leader. He's had a fantastic footballing career, and he still wants to play for Scotland. He's been saying in the press, so it doesn't seem as if he's wanting to slow down.
Well, you did spend some time playing with Dundee United. That was a wee while ago now. You've played for a good few clubs in Scotland, but tell us what you're up to these days at Thistle.
Yeah, obviously I'm still playing at the moment with Partick Thistle and really enjoying my football at the moment. And as a club, we're doing really well on the pitch, and I'm also the Partick Thistle women's manager, so that's been doing that for now over a year, and it's a lot different. Obviously I'm still playing, but you see that other aspect and the other side of it where you got all the problems with it. As a player, you turn up, all your kit's set out, your boots are there, and you just had to go in to do your training, didn't need to set anything up, so you're seeing all the learning and all the different aspects of the game, and it's really a good challenge for me because I've got aspirations to become a manager one day. So
it's giving you a new appreciation of that side of things?
Yeah, definitely. As a player, as I said, touch on it again, you go in, your kit's there, you go out to the training pitch, you do whatever the manager tells you to do, you go up to the gym in the afternoon and then you get a shower and you go home. But the girls are obviously only part-time, they train 2 nights a week and we get a game on a Sunday, and I feel as if it's a full-time job. Your phone doesn't stop, but listen, I'm loving it.
Does it give you that you're constantly thinking about your team selection, your tactics, any sleepless nights?
Yeah, there is, because obviously everybody wants to play. That's another aspect of the learning. You need to try and keep everybody happy. That's the difficult part of football because you can only play 11. So there is sometimes you're thinking that one deserves to play, but they're doing so well, so it is really hard.
And tell us about the Championship this season, because it's been getting some, well, I think continental-wide attention for how close but yet divided the league is. The top 5 separated by a couple of points, the bottom 5 separated by just 1 point, I think it is, at the moment. Incredible stuff.
But obviously it is split. It's clear to see that it's split, but on the day anybody can beat anybody. It's a fantastic league to be a part of, and we find ourselves in the top 5, 2 points off the top of the league, and we're going well at the moment. I think that was 7 clean sheets in the bounce we've just had, so club record for Jamie Steddon in goal, so it's a fantastic achievement so far.
Yeah, promotion certainly the aim and within grasp, do you feel?
Yeah, for a team that's just come up from League One after everything that happened to Partick Thistle, so to be up there in the first year, going and challenging, it's a great aspiration from what we're doing, and I think the club should take really good credit for it.
Right, well, time for us to leave our comfy seats here and head out into the cold and where it was snowing earlier. We've not got long till kick-off, so come back to us shortly and we'll get things going with County against United.
As a family-owned business, Norscot understand the need for stability, security and comfort. That's why every timber frame kit we supply is built with these in mind. Providing great design flexibility, our homes are entirely customisable to your needs. And with a wide range of adaptable set and bespoke designs on offer, your budget is not a limitation. To find out more, email info@norscot.co.uk. Norscot, proudly serving customers throughout the UK since 1984.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my family.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my teammates.
When I hold the card, I'm standing with my neighbours.
When I hold the card, I stand with my brothers and sisters.
We're standing with everyone who's had to endure racial prejudice in their lives.
Racism comes in many forms, some clear, some more subtle.
It affects not just the victim, but friends, families, and entire communities.
No one is born with it, and tolerance is taught, but it can be untaught.
To bring about change, we can't be afraid to take the first step. We fail when we fail to try.
We are supporting Show Racism the Red Card, our education charity.
Now more than ever, they need your support to give our future generation the tools to challenge prejudice, hatred and discrimination.
It's not enough to be not racist. We all must be anti-racist. Education is the key.
It's time to come home. After over a year, we look forward to having you back here with us as we embark on the latest chapter in the club's journey. You can get behind the Staggies and order your season ticket today online at rosscountyfootballclub.co.uk.
Oil and gas, power generation, and heavy industry all rely on the safe and continuous operation of their high voltage networks. The demand on these industries is continuously increasing, and the need for an electrical supply without interruption is critical. Contact us today to find out how we can provide 24/7 PD. Founded in 2006 with headquarters in the UK and locations around the world, we have developed cutting-edge PD monitoring and testing technology to ensure your high-voltage networks are safe and reliable, avoiding dangerous and costly unplanned outages. Contact us today to find out how we can provide 24/7 PD monitoring solutions